Hello everyone, I am Ramaswamy Palla, Assistant Professor, Department of Management Studies, Institute of Technology and Engineering. So today we are going to discuss about the business environment, significance, importance, and first we will see what are the course objective of this course. So what we are going to learn in this session. So we will move to the course objectives. The first objective is to understand the various internal and external factors of the business. That means internally what are the factors are there and how they are going to impact the business success, and externally what are the factors and what is the impact of those factors on business growth. So about the complete analysis of the internal and external factors of a business. One organization must understand, or one industry must understand, what are the impacting factors on business, because a proper analysis on that one will help you to take the proper decision. For the purpose of decision making, we need to understand clearly the factors which are affecting the business. And second one, the impact of Indian industrial policies. The industrial policies are brought to boost up the manufacturing industries in India, because several years India is keep on depending on the agricultural sector. So to move from agricultural sector to manufacturing sector, the government of India brought several industrial policies since independence till now. So what are the impact of each and every industrial policy, and what policies that has government has been brought, and what are the effect of those policies, and how much the industries developed, and what is the economical growth or the country's GDP growth through this industrial policy. And next, to understand the important components of BOP. So for every nation's economic system, BOP is a key area. So we need to maintain enough surplus reserves, enough reserves for the foreign trade purpose. So in order to, if we want to maintain enough reserves, foreign reserves, we need to do the export business and we need to reduce the imports. So that is why maintenance of BOP is very key aspects in business. And to understand the foreign trade policy, So what policies we are making, and what the policies are government making to make the trade with the other nation. Because of the globalization, the entire world has become a small market. So there is no domestic markets, there is no foreign markets, there is no barriers in countries to countries. So each and every country wants to do the trade with the other nations. So what are the government supporting schemes to the trade? And to understand the legal framework of India. So because trade is largely depends on the legal system of any nation, whether it is India, USA, Canada, whatever it country may be, the legal policy of that nation largely impacts the trade of this business. Okay, so these are the points which we are going to learn in this session. So we will move to the definition of the business environment. First, we need to understand what is the exact definition of the business environment. So you can see it on the slide, the clear definition is given there. So basically the business environment means the all internal and external various factors, internal and external factors which are affecting the business. That analysis, understanding of those factors is actually known as business environment. Many people may get a doubt why we need to understand those internal and external factors. What is the use of understanding those factors? Because success of the business is largely depends on how you react to those factors. So the decision making is very important in business area. If you want to take a proper decision in particularly in the view of business, whatever decision you take, that should have an impact of for the longer period of times. So while considering all the future problems and future opportunities and current situations and other players, government policies, you have to take an n number of issues into consideration while taking a decision in business. So that is why, so for the purpose of the decision making, we need to make the proper understanding of the business environment. Like how a person, if a person want to grow himself, if a person want to sustain in society, he need to cope up with his ecology, that means his surroundings and environment. So like that, in the same manner, the business also should have to adapt and cope up with the environmental factors such as suppliers, customers, marketing conditions, government policies, whatever impacting factors are there, the business has to cope up with all these factors in order to sustain in a long run. So that is why the proper understanding of all the factors of all the affecting factors of business is called as business environment. Next, what is the importance of the business environment? So by observing or by learning or by knowing the business environment, what we can do? So these are the points we can these are the areas we can develop. And for example, first one is improves performance. Normally a proper understanding of these environment is clearly helps you to improve your business. That means your business performance, because we have to know what is the need and want of needs and wants of the customers. We need to understand what is the market share we are having, and what is the market share is our competitor is having, and what are the opportunities are there, and what are the technologies that are evolving in new era. So we need to understand all these situations. So by understanding those, by implementing in our business, we can improve the overall performance of our business. And it is attracts financial institutions. So financial institutions like banks and NBFCs, so they are the primary and key resources for the fundraising for the business organizations. So whenever they want whenever they want to go for any expansions or diversification, they require investment. So they require funds. The first thing they will do, they'll go for the banks and NBFCs. Any bank or any NBFCs will see the performance of your business or your industry or your company. So if that is good, they will automatically they will issue the loans and whatever aid you are required from those side. So that is why, in order to attract those kind of banks and financial institutions, our company should create an image in the market. So for creating such kind of market, you need to have continuous production and a good amount of sales and good amount of revenue and good amount of profits. So if you want to show all these you need to understand each and every aspect of the business. You have to take the proper decisions in all aspects, whether it may be going for expansion, whether it may be going for product line diversification, whatever it may be, you need to understand and then you have to make a decision. So that clearly attracts the banks and other financial institutions. And acceptance from society. So this is very much important, because what kind of value system we are following, what kind of ethics we are following, and what kind of facilities we are giving to our employees. So everything is actually observed by the society. So that is means if we are doing great, if you are doing everything right in those aspects of values, ethics and all those things, the society will accept our business. Once the society accepts the business, automatically we will be successful in that business. So value system is also very much important. So then only we will get the acceptance from the society. And better understanding of market. So we need to properly understand the market. Why? Because if the market conditions keep on changing, so market is a place where every 1 year or every 2 years the needs and wants of the customers, and also the government policies, and although the economical conditions, and also the resource availabilities, different things whatever there in the market, and who are the new players are coming, what are the existing players are doing, and what is the government support for the particular industry or organization, and what is the budget allocations, what is the supporting schemes. We need to understand each and every aspect of the market. So that is why we can improve our business. And changing needs and new innovations and government support. So already we discussed, government support is very much necessary for the improvement of the industries. Whether the government is brought any new act, or whether the government want to invest in a particular industry, or whatever the government want to give any subsidy. Like now the recent government want to promote manufacturing industry. They want to see the growth in manufacturing industry. For that they came up with a scheme that PLI, product linkage incentive systems. So these kind of schemes, how we can use those schemes for our business success. So we need to make proper decisions regarding these one. So by making a proper analysis on business environment, we can do better in these areas. So that is the importance of business environment. And next we discussed there are some internal factors and there are some external factors that are affects the business. First we will see what are the internal factors and on how they affects the business. Okay, so internal factors, value system, we already discussed. The company must follow some proper ethics and all these things. Okay, if they follow ethics and if they follow values, automatically you will get good acceptance from the society, and your brand image will be highlighted, and so the customers will be attracted towards you. As if you take one example, the Murugappa group, one of the leading group in India, has taken over the EID Parry group, and in that EID Parry group, the liquor production unit is the largest business in that EID Parry group. That the Murugappa doesn't want to take up that liquor production, so what they did means they sold that unit to some other party. So where they thought that this liquor production does not fit into our value system, so they sold out. So that actually creates a lot of impact on this Murugappa group. So that is why these kind of small things will create a huge impact in the market. So that is value system. And next, vision and mission. So what vision you have and what are the mission statements you are preparing for your organization, that is also very much hugely impacts the business. And human resource, the kind of manpower you have in your organization. For example, if you have a high skilled people and high committed people and highly talented people, automatically the organization goes to the next level. So particularly when you don't have proper skilled people and proper commitment people, if you don't have those kind of people, then automatically what happens means you need to put a lot of effort to reach to the next level. So the kind of employees, the kind of human resource, how much they committed and what kind of skill and talented they are having and how they are cope up with the any kind of situation. So these are all shows a lot of impact on the business. And company image. So company image or brand image. So what kind of image you have in the public, so that is also affects your business. So your decisions also will shows a lot of impact on your business. And internal power relationships. So there are so many people will be there in the companies, like managing director, CEO and other heads and other so hierarchy people will be there. So what kind of relations they are having, whether each and everyone is supporting others, whether each and everyone is without any without any ego, they are cooperating with each other, that's also shows the impact on the business. So these are the internal, that means these factors lies within our business area. So that is why these are all shows the impact from inside on the business. Next we will see the external factors. Again, external factors classified into two types. One are micro factors and second one is macro factors. So micro factors means the factors which have immediate impact on your business. That means these are the outside people, but these people's these people will have direct impact on business immediately. Whereas when you come to macro factors, these people will not have the direct impact on, will not have the immediate impact. So these factors will have impact on the business, but at a later part of time. But when you see these micro factors, these factors will have immediate impact on the business. The micro factors, if you go, suppliers, customers, competitors and market intermediaries. So if you have only one supplier, if the supplier stops the raw material, immediately your business will be in a kind of danger. So because you need continuous production, any business or any sector, any industry that need to do the continuous production in order to get the meet the demand of the product. So if you have only one supplier, if you rely on one supplier, if somehow in some cases unexpectedly if that supplier couldn't able to supply the raw material to you, automatically it creates a lot of problems to you. And also the customers, because the customer how long the customer likes our product and how long the customer satisfied with our products, up to that period the business will run successfully. But once the customer feels that this product is not giving enough satisfaction, or this product is not having quality, so then automatically the customer will, because of nowadays the customer have the wide range of choices, variety of choices. So the customer will easily shift into the one product to another product. So that is why always we need to retain our customers. So that is why we need to put a lot of focus on customers. And also the competitors, we have a cutthroat competition in the market. Each and every product, each and every industry will have this competition. There is no more monopolies, or there is no more what we call that monopoly trade we don't have. So everywhere there is a competition, there is a stiff competition. So in order to overcome the competitors, what we can do in a what fair practices we can apply, and what our product actually can be differentiated from the competitor product. So we need to look on those things. And market intermediaries, so all the people who are involved in the supply chain, like wholesalers, retailers, any other distributors. So all these are also should be taken care. Otherwise these all people will show a huge impact on the business. So these are the micro factors. When it comes to macro factors, economical factors. So economical factors means the government tax rate system, the government trade policy, the government FDI's policy, all these are shows the impact on business. Whenever the government changes the tax rates, automatically it shows impact on your business, because if the government changes the tax rate, the product of price may increase or may decrease. So that is why the economical factors also shows a huge impact on business. And when it comes to socio-cultural factors, the culture, the religion, the region of the people also shows the impact on your business. So whenever you are making a product, or whenever you are doing any business, that should not disturb anyone's culture, or that should not go into any kind of so what is the controversial things. So you need to take care about those issues, cultural issues. And political and government factors. So a stable government is very much required for the good trade. Otherwise, if the government not having enough power with them, so they won't come up with the good reforms. So whenever if the government want to bring the good reforms, they have majority in the they should have the majority, and they should the government should be stable. So these are the political and government factors. So natural factors, so what are the resources available in a particular area or particular state or nation, so that is also hugely impacts the business. So technological factors, so what technology that actually ruling the market, so we need to adapt those technologies, and we need to shift to that technology. So we need to catch up with the technology updation is very much important for the business. So these are the external factors that actually impacts the business. And industrial policies since independence. So these industrial policies actually has been brought to develop the manufacturing sector in India, because when we got the independence, India largely depends on two areas. One is agricultural sector, and there is no big industries, or there is no medium level industries in India. Only small scale industries we have in India. So India largely depends on those small scale industries and also agricultural sector. But then the government thought that so this is not enough for our country, so we need to shift to the big manufacturing industry. So that is why they came up with these policies. One main aim of all these policies are to improve the trade of the India by promoting these by promoting and by establishing the large manufacturing industries. So that is why if you see the first industrial policy came in 1948, and it is continuous up to 1991. So we will one by see what are the key features of each and every policy, what are the highlighted points in each and every policy. First, if you see industrial policy in 1948, the government has classified the industries into four categories. First one is government monopolies. So in these industries only can be started by the government and can be run by the government. No other private people or no other foreigners would not be allowed into start these industries. For example, arms, railways and nuclear industries. These industries must be run by only government. So that is purely government monopoly. And mixed industries. So in this one, the private people also can enter and can start, but after 10 years the government will take a decision whether to run by that person or whether the government has to take over that business. So but there is a chance of entering into this For example, telephone, telegraph, iron and coal, ships, these are the industries the government has given the choice to the private people also. And also the government will also be there. And the third one is government undertaking. So chemicals, heavy machines, sugar, cement, paper, fertilizers, these industries will be government undertakings. And the companies or the industries which are not coming these three areas will be comes into others. Okay. These are the structure of the Indian industries in 1948. So here one thing we can clearly observe that the government want to maintain authority on all kind of industry. The government does not want to give the free hand to the private people, because there is a number of reasons behind that one. Because up to that point the Britishers drained all the resources from the India to their country. So if we again give the permissions to the private people, again the wealth will be concentrated on at one place, and poorer get poorer and richer get richer. So but the main aim of the government is that by allowing by starting industries and all these things, the government want to eradicate the inequalities and the poverty and the unemployment. So with that view, the government want to maintain all the industries. So this is the brief introduction of the industrial policy 1948. Now we will see the next policy, industrial policy 1956. This policy is also called as constitution trade constitution of India. Why? Because this from this policy onwards the government changed their mindset and they started giving some kind of freedom to the private people. So again in this one the government classified the companies into three, they have classified into three schedules. The schedule A will be having 17 industries. These industries purely belongs to government. No other people will not be allowed to start these one. And schedule B industries, with the help of government, under the government undertaking, these industries should be run. So that means here private people can run these industries, but the government authority will be there on this one. And schedule C, these purely allocated to the private people. Here also we can observe that majority industries are major important industries which generates high revenue is again kept under government authority. So they are under the eyes of government and they are in the hands of government only. They haven't given these high priority industries to the private people. So because the government want to put all the major important industries under their control. So that is industrial policy 1956. Now we will move to the industrial policy 1973, 77 and 80. So in industrial policy 1973, the one feature that the key takeaway what we can take means joint sector. They introduced the concept of joint sector. In 1977, tiny industries. Up to that we have small scale industries, but we don't have tiny industries. But in 1977, the government of India introduced the tiny industries. That means the industries which are having 1 lakh investment are called as tiny industries. And the establishment of DICs. Though in a district, if anybody want to start industries, the single window permission will be given through these district DICs. And IPR Industrial Policy Resolution 1980. So the technology improvement. This act, this resolution mainly focused on industrial technology. Okay. And 1991 policy. This is also called new economic policy. So this is one of the key milestone policy in Indian trade history, in Indian economic history, because this policy has followed LPG model, liberalization, privatization, globalization. So before 1991 there is licensing system. Anybody want to start a business or any industry or any company must take the license from the government, and that licensing process is also very difficult and very time taking. So that is why people haven't shown too much interest to start the industries because of this licensing because of this licensing rule. So that is why the government liberalized. That means they cancelled the licensing for the majority of the industries. Only 5 to 6 industries they put mandatory licensing for those like cigarettes, alcohol and any explosive metals. So for these 3 or 4 industries only, the government made mandatory, license made mandatory, or other industries without the taking license also they can start the business. So that is how they made liberalized. And privatization. So as we discussed before 1991, the government had maintained all the industries under their eyes, because the government doesn't want to give it to the private people. But in 1991 they thought that private people partnership is also very much important in economic growth. So that is why they also should contribute. So that is why what they did means the government allowed the privatization. So through disinvestment from the PSUs, the government has allowed private people to take over some of the industries. The government companies slowly privatized. So that is one, privatization. And globalization. So connecting Indian market to the international markets. So connecting our domestic market to the various national markets. So that means allowing imports and exports. So before 1991, imports and export duties, almost there are 300% to 400% import duties and export import duties we have. But from 1991, what they did means they reduced the tax rates, and also they brought up to 12 to 20, 10 to 20%. So how they in this way they actually globalized our economy. So by following these one, the government has given a free hand to the private people and allowed them to put their investment and start the business and to run the business. So and some of other key takeaways what we can take from this 1991 industrial policy means abolition of MRTP Act. So because of this MRTP Act, the companies cannot expanded or cannot be expanded or cannot be allowed to diversifying production process. So only the company every time the company, if they want to increase the production, they have to go to the government and they have to get the permission from the government. Although the company's product is having high demand in the market, if the government gives the permission, then only they need to produce more, otherwise they can't. And if the assets of those companies crosses 100 crores, then again what the surplus amount has to be done, that decision will be taken by the government, not by these people. So all these conditions are there in MRTP Act. So the government thought that because of the MRTP Act, it's because of this act people are not coming forward to start the industry, so they abolished this MRTP Act. And de-reservation of public sector. So the number of industries the government kept has de-reserved, and only 2 industries maintained for the government, and the remaining all industries the government allowed the private partnership. So establishment of board for the industrial financial reconstruction, the BIFR board. So this board is actually for the rehabilitation of the sick industries, identifying the sick industries and giving support to those sick industries. If the sick industry does not recover after giving the help also, then closing those industries. What kind of procedures they need follow, identifying sick industries and giving support, all these functions of the BIFR. So these are the key points in Industrial Policy Resolution 1991. And some of the other points, if you observe, Foreign Investment Promotional Board is established in 1991. So this board takes care of the foreign direct investment. So before 1991, only 26% of FDIs were allowed in Indian organizations. So after 1991, up to 100% based on the industry, from 75 to 100% also they allowed. So import policy has been changed, FDIs allowed, and minimized the government role. The government role in before 1991, there is a huge role and huge authority of the government, but in 1991 they reduced this role. So these are the key takeaways for Industrial Policy 1991. And 5-year plans, though this concept has been started in 1951, the first 5-year plan has been launched in 1951 to 56. So the main objects of these 5-year plans is to economic growth, social welfare, poverty reduction, regional balance, and self-reliance. So 5-year plan means basically the government sets a certain priorities, and to achieve those priorities, what amount is required, and how they are going to allocate these funds to the different sectors, and how they are going to achieve a planning, a long-term planning. That means a short-term planning for the 5 years. these 5 years what the government has to give the priority and what they have to do. So this is 5-year plans. It is started from 1951, almost 14 planning commission for the functioning of these 5-year plans. The government of India established a commission that is called Planning Commission, and that was cancelled by Modi government in 2017. In place of 5-year plans, they brought Niti Aayog. So almost the Niti Aayog also does the same function, but that is the government thought that 5-year planning is not enough to get the economic growth to achieve all these, so a long-term planning is required. So the Niti Aayog will take care of those long-term plannings instead of these 5-year plans. So this is actually the planning commission was closed in 2017, and there is one NDC, one council is there, National Development Council. The National Development Council will approve all the 5-year plans and they implement in nation. So these are the 5-year plans. And structure of Indian economy. So economic system means how the scarce resources will be allocated to the different sectors. So based on their priorities, based on the availability of resources, and based on their goals, based on their vision, the government will actually gives resources to the various departments and various sectors. So economic system means how government actually gives resources to the allocates the resources to the different departments. So normally we have 3 kinds of economic systems: capitalist economy, socialist economy, and mixed economy. Now we will observe what is capitalist economy and what kind of features we can see in capitalist economy and socialist economy and mixed economy. First we will see capitalist economy. So capitalist economy means here freedom of enterprise. That means what to produce, where to produce, how to produce will be given freedom to the industrialist. So that the government role will be very less in capitalist economy. The government will allow private people to invest, and what should be produced and how much should be produced, the entire freedom will be given to the industrialist. So that is freedom of enterprise. And consumer sovereignty. So consumer sovereignty means the consumer will have the freedom to choose what to buy and what not to buy, and when. So the freedom will be given and variety of choices of products will be given to the consumer. And profit motive, the private people, their main motto is getting profits, so they can work on that one. So the government will not restrain from them from their motive. And competition, so everybody is allowed. So that is why normally you can see a huge competition in capitalist economy. And private property, normally these people what they will do means they will develop their private property. The government will not put any restrictions on your property and your business. So that is why you can build up your own private property. So these are the features normally we will see in the capitalist economy. And socialist economy. So this is actually in this socialist economy the government role is very high. The government will take care about all the industries, and they want to start the business and they will not allow private people. The main motto is here social welfare objective. So with this objective the government want to actually distribute the wealth equally to all the people of the nation. So in a socialist economy normally the trade will be run by government, and majority of the industries will be under the government economy. So the main aim of this socialist economy is to reduction in inequalities. So they want to distribute the wealth all to the people and they want to reduce the inequalities. So that is socialist economy. And when we come to mixed economy, it is a blend of social and capitalist economy. So whatever the key aspects of the socialist economy, key features of mixed economy, social economy and capital economy we can see in the mixed economy. So India is a mixed economy, mixed economic system where we will have public ownership and also we will have private ownership, and where private people can get the profits, and also the government will try to reduce the inequalities and imbalances in the society. So you can observe both the capitalist and socialist economic systems in mixed economy system. And economic reforms, these are the economic reforms: liberalization, privatization, globalization has been brought in 1991. Because of the 1990 crisis, the India has to renovate themselves. So they want to come up with some economic reforms, so they came up with these liberalization, privatization, globalization. So they have cancelled the licensing system, they have started disinvestment, and they have giving boost up to the sick industries. So by doing so, all these things, the India want to change themselves. So these are the economic reforms has been brought by the Indian government. Disinvestment, we already discussed privatization and liberalization. So as a part of privatization, the government started selling their part in PSUs to the public people or to the normal people. So the disinvestment reasons why the disinvestment has been started means the government identified low productivity in public sector units, and also poor R&D, research and development activities in the PSUs, and also surplus employees, technology updation. These are the main reasons why the government want to withdraw their investment or withdraw their part from the PSUs because of these reasons. So they want to, the public sector units are not able to compete with the private industries. So that is why they observed these reasons, and they want to disinvestment from the PSUs. And object of the disinvestment, by disinvesting these, what the government want to do means the government want to first procure the funds, because also the government at that time has crisis in fundraising. So they want to procure these funds, and by these funds they want to invest somewhere, and they want to do the social welfare schemes. They want to allocate these funds to the social welfare schemes. So, and limiting government authority. The government, they themselves want to limit the authority on the industry, and modernization of PSU. So by withdrawing some money from those PSUs, the PSUs which are running well, these money should be used to modernize those well running PSUs. And minimizing public debts. They want to reduce the amount of debts in the budget. And social welfare schemes like pensions and other schemes, whatever the government is promised, so whatever the government want to do the people, so they want to use all these funds for these purposes. And industrial sickness. So industrial sickness means we can define that any company is getting continuous losses more than for 5 years, or there are so many definitions given by the so many institutions. For example, Companies Act given one kind of definition, SBI given one kind of definition, RBI given one kind of definition, but all they commonly tells that any company that is getting losses continuously, or any company getting a losses more than its net worth, those companies or those industries are called as sick industries. Okay, so we can see what is the reasons for the sick industries. The main reasons are inadequate market survey, lack of experience of the promoters, poor inventory management, energy crisis, raw material availability, transport bottlenecks, government policies. These are the causes. And some industries, there are we can classify the industrial sickness into two types, like born sickness and achieved sickness. Some industries from the starting itself they will be getting losses, so those are all called born sick industries. And some industries, after running successfully to a period of time, at later point of time they will get into losses, so that is achieved sickness. So whether born sickness or achieved sickness will be happen because of these causes. So for example, a newly started industry will become a born sick industry if they don't have proper market knowledge, and if they don't, if their promoters don't have proper experience, and their poor inventory management. All these causes born sickness. For example, achieved sickness, once you getting the profits, if you are putting the profits in a wrong area, that means if you are investing in a wrong area, all your profits, then automatically your industry will become a sick industry. So the born sickness and achieved sickness will be happen because of these causes. And Competition Act 2002, this is enacted in December 2002. So in place of MRTP Act, this act has been brought. So the main aim of this Competition Act 2002 is to promote competition through prohibition of anti-competitive practices and freedom of the trade, and to protect the interest of the consumer. So because of allowing lot of private people into the business, because of the heavy competition, the companies start practicing unfair trade practices in order to improve their business. So that is not a good for the any nation or any economic system. So that is why the government want to stop these kind of unfair trade practices, and they want to promote a healthy competition among the industries. So that is why they established a CCI, Competition Commission of India. This Competition Commission of India, what they will do means they will take care about all the mergers and acquisitions whatever happening among the companies. If any company is violating the rules and regulations, they can take the action. So according to this CCI, there will be a commission will be there. In this commission, a High Court judge range chairperson will be there and 2 or 3 members will be there. These 3 people will monitor all the company's policies and mergers and acquisitions. If anyone violates, they will take a action against those people. So this is Competition Act, and the main aim of this Competition Act to promote the competition among the industries by preventing the anti-competitive practices. And fiscal policy. Fiscal policy means how the government gets the revenue and how the revenue will be how the government will spend the money and how the government will take the debts. So the overall revenue, expenditure, debt of a government is combinedly known as fiscal policy. So the effect of government taxes, expenditure and debt on production and employment is also known as fiscal policy. Now we will see what are the aims of fiscal policy. The aims of fiscal policy is economic growth and to increase the savings and investments, price stability, employability opportunities, and procurement of resources and income redistribution. So by economic growth, how the economic growth will be happen means, because the fiscal policy contains tax rate system and interest rate system. So if you put high interest rate and low tax rates, so both are beneficial for the people of that nation. So if you are giving high interest rates on savings, people will start saving instead of wasting their money, and they will after savings they will put their savings in some kind of investment. So that creates some kind of employment. Again, that gives taxes to the government. So that is why a tax rate system and all other government policies is a part of fiscal policy. And with the fiscal policy, the government want to achieve these points. And components of fiscal policy, if you see what contains in a fiscal policy means, as we already discussed, government receipts and government expenditure, government debt, where the revenue will come from and how much it will come and where the government will spend it, and whenever the spending is more than receipts, then where the government can take the loans and all these things. So these are the components of fiscal policy. Thank you. That's all for this session.